The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A Democratic Republic of Sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Green.
All right, now time to talk about the bottom feeders in the NFC North. It's the Detroit Lions.
Not for long.
Oh, you think this is a team on the rise?
How many times have I said that?
A lot.
146?
I mean, they're doing everything.
Why?
They're doing everything right. And the front office, the head coach.
And I understand these are hyenas and not coyotes, but or hyenas, not lions. But previous regime, this regime.
But does crazy always make it better?
I'm not talking about the head coach. I don't give a damn about Dan Campbell. You know what I care about? They put two really smart coordinators around him. Anthony Lynn, that was a head coach, Aaron Glenn, that's going to be. You know why you do that? Because Dan Campbell is the figurehead.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell is the guy that goes into press conferences and tries to rally the fan base because the city of Detroit likes blue-collar guys.
Yeah.
The Bad Boy Pistons and the Ben Wallace Pistons.
Yeah.
You ever notice that was the only team that's won a title in the last 25 years that didn't have a star?
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. They had a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
Billups, Jefferson, or Hamilton, Ben Wallace.
Yeah.
That's what Detroit's all about. They like blue collar, so they brought in the most blue collar coach of all time. And you gave a GM in Brad Holmes as much leash as any GM in the league because you know you're going to be bad. You know you're going to be bad.
Yeah.
But I loved the draft. I think they did a great job in the draft.
Yeah.
Added a bunch of guys that I really like. Amon St. Brown's one of my favorite late round flyers this year in fantasy.
Listen, they got a left tackle that's going to be an all-pro out of their draft this year. He's going to be an all-pro somewhere down the line.
Don't talk about Penny Sewell because we think he's the second coming of Christ, apparently.
Well, we do because we're right.
Well, I mean, in the comments,
we're right.
I mean, in comments with, Penny Sewell just fixes everything, right? No, but he's a hell of a start.
Yeah.
And in Detroit, best case scenario, they're happy they went to Jared.
That's right. Yeah. Jared Goff ends up being, being serviceable. And not just serviceable, but proving that he can be a guy that you want to stick with for a couple of years. Look, here's the problem with that, though. If he is, they're not going to be bad enough to get one of the top picks next year to get a quarterback.
Not necessarily true.
I struggle to believe that Jared Goff can be really good and prove that he needs this job or that he's earned this job going forward. You're not going to have that if they're a 5-win team.
There's something to be said.
That's an asinine comment. You can see something out of Jared Goff and the team suck because the defense is not overly good. It's going to take some time. The weapons are brutal. You got young guys.
Yeah.
Outside of Terrell Williams and Brashad Perriman. But now, can you see things out of Jared Goff? Absolutely. Don't turn the damn ball over. The only knock on Jared Goff is he turns the ball over too fucking much.
And here's the thing.
The arm talent's good. He started in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he's 26 years old?
Yeah, he's still young. He's still young. And I think
you can see all of the things out of Jared Goff, and this team still be 2-15.
Yeah, and I think that here's the thing. I think getting Jared Goff out of Los Angeles where everything was about how he was the problem, how everything with Los Angeles was his fault. And I think that after a while, that tends to get on top of you a little bit. And it tends to getting into a new spot, getting into a new regime with somebody like a Dan Campbell, with a Anthony Lynn, with these guys that can maybe pump him up, can get him out of there. And we forget he was the number one pick in the draft for a reason. I mean, it's not like he was just...
And they gave up a shitload to get him.
Yeah, it wasn't like he was just a bum that got drafted. He's not Ryan Leaf. You know what I'm saying? He's not Ryan Leaf at all. He started in the Super Bowl. He's very good. I still think there's a path where he can be a pretty good quarterback in, like he said, this team. And I could see a path where they actually look at him as a future for this team.
I agree. I think that's where we fucked up with the Stafford deal. We looked at it as though they got an extra one to take on Jared Goff. What if they didn't? Where did Brad Holmes come from?
L.A.
L.A. Brad Holmes had a hand in drafting Jared Goff.
Yep.
Been with him. Seen him every day. You don't find that strange? We all thought, why would they take on this contract? It's just to get the draft pick. What if it's not?
Yeah.
What if the hate has gotten so stupid on Jared Goff that Brad Holmes looked at him and went, I can get Jared Goff and get a one for taking him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Because here's the path of righteousness, and this is I got news for you. I'm looking at the Lions schedule right now. if I'm being as rose-colored, lion-colored glasses as I want to be, I'm going to say 3 games on the schedule that they could win.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be no better than 3-14.
Cincinnati, Philadelphia, and where's the next one? Atlanta.
That's the 3.
Okay.
You're not beating any of the other teams on the schedule. You're just not. And you don't want to. At the end of the day, you don't want to. This is a blip year. So, you said, can they be bad and still believe in Jared Goff? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because they've given him nothing, and they've done it on purpose.
Yeah.
Terrell Williams and Brashad Perriman are 2 of the most injury-prone receivers in the NFL.
Yeah.
So, can you see things out of Goff where you go, yep, that's going to be fine. And then what do? You go into next year where you have 2 wins.
2 number 1s.
And guess what? There's a guy at the top of this draft that's about as can't miss as I've ever seen in my life.
Kayvon Thibodeau.
Derek Stingley.
Oh, Derek Stingley. Okay.
Kayvon Thibodeau could be the guy too. Just depends.
Right.
Depends on what you feel the burning urge to do.
Yeah.
Right.
But Derek Stingley is about as Derek Stingley Jr. is about as can't miss of a corner as I've ever seen.
And I think they can do that, and they see Goff going forward. So unless he's crazy, then they would go after a quarterback. But I just still, for some reason, I believe that Jared Goff still has something left to prove. And I think he's going to be a lot better than most people think, where they can use that number 1 pick on something different. And I think that might even be the better path for Detroit becoming more relevant quicker than if they were to just cut ties with him and go with a rookie quarterback.
Here's the thing. The quarterback class is not great. I believe greatly in Sam Howell.
Yes.
I don't believe in anybody else.
Yes.
Spencer Rattler, stop it. Malik Willis, stop it. Raw Tool's great. You better put him in the right situation. And it's not Detroit. It's not.
Keaton Slovis.
I don't buy Keaton Slovis as far as I can throw him.
Okay.
He likes to turn the ball over a bunch.
Tyler
And
Shuck.
I like Tyler Shuck better than most. But he's going to Texas Tech where the stats are going to be inflated and his stocks are going to go up because people, what if we missed on Pat Mahomes? They went to the same school and make him the same guy.
Right.
I've said that for 10. I feel like I've said that for 11 years now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like if you're a team that only wins 3 games and you're sitting there with one of the top 3 picks, say it's good enough to get them the number 1 pick.
You take Kayvon Thibodeau.
I mean, I don't know, but won't they kill you for not taking a quarterback?
Do you think they care?
Oh, you mean the
I got
organization?
news for you. First of all, you're not going to get killed for not taking a quarterback in this class because there is going to be a ridiculous amount of disagreement about who's who. This will be a year where we have 5. There'll be 5 quarterbacks going first round of next year's draft, and nobody's going to agree on them.
Yep.
Nobody. You think this year was weird with Zach Wilson and Trey Lance and Justin Fields? Next year makes last year look like a Tonka toy.
And I honestly don't believe the Texans can win more than the Detroit Lions.
I don't either. I don't think the Texans can win a game.
So I think
against
that
the
they're
Jacksonville
going to
Jaguars.
get the number 1 and Sam Howell, and then like we talked about after that. So even if they're bad at 3-12, and I could see a path where if they did have the number 1 pick going with Sam Howell because I do believe in him. Other than that, other than having the number 1 pick to get him, no.
I'll be honest with you.
Reverse course.
I'll be 100% honest with you. If I'm the Detroit Lions and Goff plays, I would say he's 2.5 to 3 to 1 touchdown to interception ratio. I don't take Sam Howell if I get the number 1 pick.
Oof.
I'll take Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Because that's an impact pass rusher.
Yeah.
That's a building block piece. And guess what? Brad Holmes has made it very, very clear he wants to build this team the right way.
Yeah.
Right.
And he
that
started
starts
this
on
year
the
with the
lines.
left tackle.
Yeah.
And then you get an edge rusher, and then you get a cornerback, and then you just
I'm
start
very
building that.
bullish on the future for the Lions.
I think that for the first time in a long time, I look at the Detroit Lions and say, hey, there's something there. But for the longest time, I've been like, there's no chance that this team's ever going to do anything.
There's one worst case scenario for the Lions, and it kind of plays into what Tank just said. It's like rain on your wedding day.
Yep.
It's ironic. The problem is, what if Jared Goff's not good and they still win like 4 or 5 games? Now you screwed yourself.
What if Jared Goff is good enough to get them 6 wins? What if somehow they can find a way to wind up in that mediocre territory, and now you're out, and now you're in that awful area that Jeremy never likes to be in. You're not bad enough to get one of the top picks. You're picking there right in the middle somewhere in the first round.
By the way, to do that,
bad.
you would have to beat Denver and Chicago and Minnesota 1 time apiece.
Yeah. And I also think that the young guys, every young guy on your team needs to be all world. You know what I mean?
Not necessarily. To me, the worst case scenario is that I don't think there's a way you missed on Penny Sewell.
No.
The question then becomes, well, how many of your other guys did you hit on?
Yeah.
How many of these guys pressed into early action? Because I'm going to be really honest with you. If you look at this Lions roster, it's a borderline expansion team. Name me the three, without looking, name me the three best players on this roster.
The three best players on the roster?
Penny Sewell, DeAndre Swift, Jared Goff.
I'm not huge on DeAndre Swift. So I was going to go Romeo Okwara, TJ Hawkinson.
Oh, yeah.
Boo.
Swift.
Maybe. It's not a very good team. So to me, you're pressing a lot of young guys into action, and Jacksonville did this many years ago, back in the Blake Bortles era. Now they mishandled everything because they hit on a bunch of guys and wound up trading them for picks.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to play in Jacksonville. The worst thing that the Lions can do is have hit and not stick to the plan. To me, I have completely changed my mind on the Goff thing. I don't think he was a throw-in. I think Brad Holmes looked at him and went, that can be my quarterback. That can be my quarterback. I don't have to invest draft capital. I can build a young team around Jared Goff. And he doesn't have to be the star. And stat-wise, he's not going to put up gaudy numbers. And he's not going to cost me $1 trillion when we have to renegotiate this a few years down the line. I think that's how he looks at this. Because the thing that I don't ever hear people say is you've got an Anthony Lynn offense here. One of the and look, we killed Anthony Lynn, and it was for good reason
as a head coach.
Because he can't manage the clock for shit.
Yeah.
Really ask yourself this. Why was Justin Herbert so good last year? Yeah, raw tools, all the things, I get it. Why was he so good? Because the offense played within the frame of Justin Herbert. He was asked to do what he could do. He was put in a position to succeed. With Austin Eckler and the litany of running backs they had, and Hunter Henry and Keenan Allen, all of these are quarterback's best friends. Do you not think Anthony Lynn's going to do that again?
Yeah.
And it's going to be a system where, we're going to run the ball a lot, and Goff's going to be asked to throw the ball 30 to 35 times a game. Just don't turn the damn ball over.
Right.
But you don't have to throw for 400 yards. This is not Sean McVay 2.0. You're not going to be asked to do that much. You're going to be asked to be a game manager.
Yeah.
And you're going to be a really good version
of Alex Smith.
Alex Smith.
That's exactly who I see him being. And I think his future in Detroit is going to be that of Alex Smith that can win you games, more games than most people would think as a Detroit Lion in the future. I don't think next year because I think they're still too young. But I believe that, to be honest. And I think the Jamal Williams signing is a little bit underrated. I think he's better than Adrian Peterson.
He's going to get more tote than you think.
Yeah.
Stop taking DeAndre Swift in the middle of the second round.
Yeah.
One move. The one move. Well, I wouldn't do a damn thing. There is not a move. Do not do anything to make this team better than it is right now. I don't want this team to be better if I'm in the front office. That's just me. I want the highest pick possible next year, and I don't want to do a damn thing to disturb what we have. Let's roll into it with this. Let's see what kind of craziness Dan Campbell can, give us over the season. We're going to be bad regardless. There's not one move that we can do that is going to turn us into any kind of a contender, any shape or form. So don't do a fucking thing.
I see. For me, it would be move some of these vet guys. Open up the path to playing time for some of the younger guys.
Yeah. Then that's kind of where I was at. Also, maybe with the pickup, maybe try to grab some guys that some teams have given up on that you maybe see
high upside.
Probably give them an opportunity to see what you do. There has been hundreds of guys that have missed at their first teams, but there's upside to them. Whether it have been injuries, whether it have been this or that, or just the personnel that they had that can do something for you. And I think that's a path that Brad Holmes, I think, can take, is looking to some of the scrap heaps and bringing in these guys. And then just, like Terrell Williams and Brashad Perriman, they're there and these kind of guys. But I'm thinking about some wide receivers, young guys that haven't gotten an opportunity, that have some upside. I think what you need to do is bring them into camp and see what they have.
And that's kind of where I'm at.
Yep.
Is get Jamie Collins. Jamie Collins is the one that I can't get away from. I think you could get a not huge value for him.
Right.
Trey Flowers. I would personally rather see the Okwara brothers as the two pass rushers on this team at the same time.
Yeah.
Julian and Romeo Okwara. That's how I would like to see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I don't see Trey Flowers being a member of your future.
Yeah.
And I still think he can. Now, granted, would anybody want to take on his contract? No, you're going to eat it. But just get the older guys out of the way and let the young guys go.
Okay. Anyhow, Detroit Lions, there's not a lot of wins going to be there for you. And at this point, you better hope that Jared Goff proves something to you or go get your quarterback next year.